I kind of think that with everything going on, what are our next available things that we can dote on and require, get that attention that we can't get from other human beings? And the answer to that is pets. Hello and welcome. It's your host Tony, and with me is my special guest for today. His name is John.
Oh, was I supposed to introduce myself there? I'm so sorry. I remember the last episode I was here. I accidentally, the first time we recorded, I accidentally jumped in too early, and now it's like, God damn it, I jumped in too late.
it's okay.
Also, I'm just laughing because every time you do that, I'm reminded. Every time you do this intro, I'm reminded of that one scene from BoJack Horseman, where they have that fake game show, and it's like, "Hello everyone, welcome to Celebrities. How much do they know? What do they know? Do they know things? Let's find out." And that is the full title of the actual game show that they do every time.
Well, this is not BoJack Horseman, even though that would be pretty cool. But this is Celestales.
It would be cool. We'd be living in Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Not Hollywood. Hollywood.
Oh yeah, Hollywood. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because in that one episode, they were talking about that how he stole the D to the Hollywood sign, and then for the rest of the series, they just keep referring to the place as Hollywood because it doesn't have a D. It does. But unfortunately, this is not the BoJack Horseman podcast.
No, but fortunately, this is the Celestales podcast.
Good thing too, because it'd just be filled with BoJack bitching and drinking, going on a rant about how Horse and Round was the best show ever. But again, we're getting off topic.
Yes.
Today you wanted to talk about how problematic the whole idea of bringing your dog around everywhere. Can be problematic,
right? And
me personally, I don't think it's all that problematic as one might think. I understand oh, what if someone has an allergy or something like that and everything? Well, don't touch their fucking dog.
Now,
I know it's not that deep. Obviously, if you just allergic to the dander or something, then just getting near the thing would probably be dangerous. But even so, I am allergic, not to a very great extent, granted, but I work in a place where I see people bringing around service dogs a lot, and I've never had an issue, honestly.
Yeah, the most problem I see is not so much a problem, but it's here's the take. People bring their dogs everywhere, right? Bring their cat. It's mostly dogs, but if they could, I'm pretty sure they would take their cat with them. But it's mostly dogs because dogs are more calmer, I guess, to a cat when outside. It's kind of weird.
I would argue the opposite. I would say cats are more.
I think it's more.
I would say docile as the word.
Right. I think I want to say it's more obedience. Because if you tell a cat to do something, the cat looks at you funny. You tell a dog to do something.
This is true. Cats, I think are harder to train, and there are things like obedience schools for dogs. I don't think they have obedience school for cats, do they?
Well, they do teach cats. I'm not sure about an obedience school for it because I know people use cats for films and you have to teach it certain things. But the problem with that is that once you teach it a certain thing, it will be ingrained inside said animal or cat until the point of just forever.
Muscle memory, I guess.
Yeah. So
wax on, wax off.
Yeah. So it's more how do these people get off bringing their pets everywhere? I mean, think about it. even if you skip
I
out
mean,
the whole allergy thing, and if you, we know the people that actually have service dogs have a vest, have a license for it, all these things. If you, but all these other people's bringing them to the grocery store, bringing them to the
you s-
post office.
you sound very heated. Is there a personal story to all of this?
Look, man, I used to work for a toy store. Not gonna say where, but
Hmm.
you gotta understand. No matter, you can tell who brought their dog inside and who really needed it, because you'll have dogs in purses, and then you just have dogs just carried like it's a baby, and I'm like, this dog could pee or poop, right? Granted, it
Well,
didn't poop.
did it ever happen?
Did it ever happen? No, and I'm kind of happy for that.
Well, see, there you go. It's never happened to me too. Like people who bring their dogs around with them everywhere. Like I'm sure they understand that. Like, no, I can't. If this little bundle of joy in can you tell I'm biased because I love animals. Anyway,
Yeah.
but this I'm trying not to be biased. Anyways, this little bundle of joy in my arms, or this giant mastiff that could snap my neck in two if it wanted, is not like trained enough to the point that I can't take it out in public without it going fucking ape shit. I'm sure the owner would be smart enough to not like bring it out in public, like if your dog like just barks at anything happening, like why would you even bring it? Like what are you getting out of this? Personally, I don't see the point in bringing it to places like like a store or anything. Obviously, I'm sure people would be stupid enough to bring their dog to like a restaurant or a grocery store.
They
I
have.
I hope to God not, but
They
like
have.
I'm sure someone out there is gonna prove me wrong. Like I'm
Yeah.
sure there's like some Florida man out right now who just let their dog like just run wild in the produce section.
Yeah. But my thing here is
But
is that I've actually seen, it was at the beach though, so it's more or less like But what happened was, we're assuming that the lady took out her dog earlier before she came to the beach, but she started rollerblading with her dog,
mhm.
and then the dog just stops. Right? She's like, oh, come on, come on, and the dog just took a massive poop right there on the area where bikes and stuff go by, and she just starts. She's like freaking out because she's like, she doesn't have a bag, but we're also at the same time, we're like, I'm thinking there's probably somebody down this strip that has a bag, because there's restaurants and stuff. All you have to do is ask for a bag and be like, explain why, and you can come back and pick it up. Lady dipped so fast. I'm like, what
Well,
happened?
did did she eventually do it? Like,
Nope.
did she eventually clean up?
We came back
Okay,
and it
well
was
then,
buried under
well
sand.
from right there you can infer that that is not just a dog. Like the dog, first of all, the dog is not trained to the point that it knows that it can just shit anywhere with no consequence. Meaning that dog is not probably not properly trained. Two, if the owner like doesn't want to clean up after the pet, that's just an asshole owner. That's on the owner. All of that is on the owner, and I would never put the blame on the animal. I don't know if you would,
No,
but
no, no.
personally, I wouldn't because that's just obviously the owner that's doing that.
Right, right.
And honestly, hot take here. I feel like if you were to bring your dog anywhere, I feel like a beach or a park, like those big open places, are the least offensive places that you could bring a dog.
All right.
If you're bringing it to the store, you could argue like no, that's like the worst place that you can bring a dog. That into like a very crowded public area. But
Mm-hmm.
a beach is it's like a park. It's a big open space that you bring them to so that they can run around and everything. So they do have that kind of freedom. Obviously, there are segregated like special. Oh my god, let's use the word segregated.
Segregated
There are like
areas.
special areas for No, don't go there, Jose. Don't.
Oh,
Jesus Christ, I'm tired. Holy shit. I just got off an 8-hour shift. I can't even
that's
speak
fine. It's
right, but
fine. Just
I'm doing my best here.
keep rolling,
I'm gonna do my best here.
doing your
All
best.
right, doing my best. I'm going for the bone here.
Mm-hmm.
Pun
Just like a
dog puns.
mm-hmm. Dog pun.
Dog pun.
All right,
All
stop
right, but
playing
yeah,
with your food.
there are specific areas, for the dog, dog parts and places on the beach that are only for the dogs and everything. But you are still required to clean up after the dog. They do have like those little bag stations like
Yep.
the community I live in has them everywhere. And you are fined if they catch you and you don't clean up after your dog. Because fuck you if you do that. Like what kind of fucking asshole does that?
Now,
Like, sorry, you were saying?
yeah, I was gonna be like, I agree with you. It's not so much the dog because to me, the dog's just doing what the dog is supposed to do. It's everybody else I'm having a problem with when they like the dog is not your baby. It cannot. It is not a human baby. Like
To
this.
some people, it is.
Yeah, I know. That's my problem because I have friends that do that, and that's fine. You know what? I don't have a problem with it. I have a problem when you go the
Well,
extra step and
that's
set
the
thing.
thing is that's kind of a bias right there because you just said you don't have a problem with your friends do, but you have a problem with other people do
No,
it.
no, no. Remember, I just said I don't have a problem if people take care of their animal like it's a baby. I have no problem with that. My problem stems where you go the extra mile and you don't understand that this is an animal still. This is an animal that, when push comes to shove, will let nature do its course because that is what it will do. That's where I'm. This is where I'm coming from on this.
Hmm. Well, I still think like it's not that big of a deal. It just all depends on the owner. Obviously, you're gonna have that one idiot that's just gonna let their dog like go fucking crazy. But in my personal experience, I never seen that happen, so I can't really vouch for that. And I think if I've gone, these whole 3 years, 4 years of working in this one job, where people constantly bring their dogs in, and it's never happened, not even once. Like I've seen some stupid customers in my day, but
Yeah, I can agree to
a,
that.
a pet owner a pet owner is not has never been one of them.
All
And
right.
that's saying something. There was one situation that I've heard, but this doesn't even involve the dog, where the owner tried to fight my manager over something, and the dog wasn't even involved. It was just the guy was being in it, and we couldn't accept his return. And then the manager comes up trying to explain that to him, and he just is the guy just goes, "Let's take it outside." And the funny thing was that the manager was like, I have a really buff manager. So the manager's like twice this guy's size, and we're all like, dude, if you do this, you're not winning this. I don't know what you're expecting is gonna happen,
Do
but
you
you're
not
not winning this. Also,
understand?
your dog is here.
Do you not understand? Like,
Why
do you,
did?
do you not understand how
Yeah,
swole this man is? You will be turned into a pretzel, and your dog will not survive the
you will
trauma
turn
that
it
just
into.
happened.
Holy shit! Okay, he will steal your dog. Your your dog will be given to the restaurant and turned into food. This is now a Chinese restaurant.
We don't believe that, by the way, but okay.
No, has that ever been a real thing? No, that's just a stereotype, right?
So the thing that comes from is mostly for the fact that in other countries, I'm not saying just Asia or anything, it is more likely they will eat other types of meat, just like how I don't know where, but people eat crickets and they eat cockroaches because it is
Mm-hmm.
actually a source of protein. So it's kind of like beast of burden, a beast. What's the difference?
It's like Skyrim before you like use something like cook something, you gotta eat it first before so you can know what properties it has.
Mm-hmm. Basically.
Like, you remember it's just like, oh hey, this flower that literally has death in the name bites into it, damages health. Oh gee, I would have never known it has damage health.
Right?
Oh hey, look, dog, restore stamina.
Store stamina. I mean, technically, dogs are wolves that we've domesticated and bred
Yeah,
over a
yeah, they
long
are
period.
through selective
So,
breeding, all that.
in all honesty, didn't we eat wolves? Was that not a thing? I don't remember if it was a thing or
I'm
not.
sure it was a thing.
Yeah. So,
Do you, speaking of which, do you know about the whole thing with like babies crying and dogs howling, the whole correlation between that?
yeah, I think it's because it was either the baby was on a pitch that dog could feel pain, or it was the dog looked after the baby, and when the baby's in pain, the dog became in pain. It was like an emotional connection.
Oh, that's different from what I've heard.
Oh, okay. What did you hear?
What I've heard is that if a dog howls, a baby will or barks, a baby will immediately like stop crying because it is such an evolutionary like thing passed down from since the time of we were cavemen that they would immediately try to a parent would immediately try to shut the baby up if they heard like a dog or a wolf howling in the distance because they knew if a wolf or in the wild would hear a baby crying, that would attract the wolf to wherever the child was, and
Ooh,
that's not a good situation.
I like
And it's
this.
become such an yeah, and it's become such an like evolutionary thing that now even in modern day that if a baby hears a dog howling, they immediately stop crying.
Oh, I wish I could
Yeah,
test
isn't
this. It's like this is
you just
amazing.
like you just have a kid like years later down the line, and then it starts going, how do I shut this baby up? And you just see your neighbor has a dog. Help, please. You just holding your baby, like shoving it in the dog's face, is like howl, please.
Baby quiet.
Where's the
Oh.
on button? Baby quiet control.
All right.
It's gonna be an app on your phone that you can just call the dog to your house to get the baby to stop crying.
Yeah.
Like
Um.
the mountain dogs
Oh yeah.
that like
The
say that like find people that get like trapped in the mountains and shit.
right, and feed them alcohol because it is the
Yeah.
quickest way to warm up the body. Has
Yeah.
hmm.
It is true. It's true.
Yeah, it's really good at what it does. But did you know? I want to know. Did you know that I I I think it was a tribe in Alaska. They are domesticating foxes.
Mhm.
So sooner or later, somewhere in the future, you might be able to have a fox as a pet.
Oh, dude, I would love to have a fox as a pet. Foxes are beautiful animals.
The way I describe them is like they're part cat, part dog. Right?
Yeah, it just be a cat with a floofier tail.
Mm-hmm.
Big floof.
Big, big. This is
Big
what y'all call
floofs.
it. Big floof. What's up, big floof?
Big floof.
Right. But do you know any rare animals people have? And by rare, I don't mean like exotic. I mean like most people have a cat, dog,
like
hamster,
like
fish. So anything outside
like
the
rare
norm.
breeds.
No, no, I was talking about outside the norm of common pets. Do you know anybody?
Well, me personally, I don't know, but I do remember one situation where I was just walking through the mall and I remember seeing like these two people, and the dude just has like two snakes, one coiled around his arm and the other around his neck, and I'm just thinking like, holy shit, this guy must be like a performer or something, like one of those little like street performer zoologists I come to teach kids about like animals and stuff. And then
Respect
as
them.
I'm like walking through the store, I keep seeing this guy like all over the place just looking at random shit. It's like, no, this guy literally just brought in two snakes into a mall.
I mean, there's no rule against it, but at the same time,
Yes,
common
but
sense would dictate.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. A snake can be a very dangerous animal.
Right.
I don't know if it was like, is there non-poisonous snakes?
There
Yeah,
are
right. I'm sure there
non
are.
venomous snakes. It's just the fact that the
I'm
snake is one long
I'm sure
muscle.
the pets that he I'm sure the pets that he had were non
Venomous.
like poisonous,
Yeah.
and that's why he wasn't stupid enough to bring it everywhere with him. But like that's still like an animal that people aren't used to seeing like in public, you know? Like a
Right.
dog is one thing. Everyone loves a dog or a cat and seeing a dog or a cat in public, you know?
Right. There's
Everyone's used
movies
to that.
about that.
But how often do you see someone carrying a snake with them everywhere they go?
Unless you're a zoologist, I don't.
Yeah, people are made very uncomfortable by reptiles in general, because they're such an uncommon thing, you know?
Well, it's also been a proven fact that reptiles, they don't, like, a dog can feel, a cat can feel, a cow can feel, all these things can feel. Reptiles have, like, whatever emotion thing that we have in our brain, they're tiny, their brains are tiny enough that they can't feel as anything else can. So it's really funny because this animal is, when they call it a cold blooded killer, they really mean a cold blooded killer,
Yeah.
right?
'Cause
But
snakes are terrifying to me
snakes are,
personally.
right.
I don't have a fear of snakes or anything, but
We
God,
when you really
they
think
can
about it,
really kill someone some horrible ways.
these things pretend to be vines. They can be anywhere because they're like a mouse. They can just squeeze. If they can squeeze their way into something, it's over. It just goes right through it. They can climb. They
Cobra
can
Kai,
do
Cobra
swim.
Kai, Cobra Kai, Cobra Kai.
These
I'm
things.
I'm ass- I'm assuming because you understood that reference, you watched Cobra Kai.
I've watched Cobra Kai.
It's a great show.
Yes, it
But we're
is.
getting off topic. We can that's a whole podcast episode for another day,
For another day.
which we have to do because I love that show. But
Okay,
anyways,
okay.
uh,
We'll do it next time. But
sure.
going back on the topic of pets, my friend has ferrets. Ferrets,
They have what?
little rascally fellas. They're
Oh, I
all
love
over the
ferrets.
place. Yeah, everybody
Ferrets
loves a
are-
ferret.
are
Which is
cute.
funny enough. It's
No, not a lot of people love ferrets. A lot of people hate ferrets. Actually,
Is it because they're
they see them on. Aren't they technically part of like the rodent family?
they are technically part rodent? I will admit to that, and I will
Yeah,
be.
I feel like that's why.
But
I know a
hamsters,
lot of people don't like ferrets.
right? They're not considered vermin, but they are considered part of the rodent family. They would probably
Yeah.
be. I mean, hamsters are rodents. Gerbils are rodents. I mean,
I didn't know that. I didn't know hamsters and German gerbils are rodents.
yep. They're just like, I'm not sure how close they are, but they are a part of that kind of family. Well, I'll be looking it up just to make
I've
sure.
also heard of some people having mice as pets.
Right, because when you really think about it, it's a mouse. It's not going to do
Yeah.
anything. Maybe
Yeah.
chew your wires, but, you kill a mouse by just stepping wrong.
I used to know some friends who had birds as pets,
Okay, that's not too bad.
but they never bring them in. Yeah, that's not too bad. But they never bring them in public, because like, how
Birds
are
fly
you going
away.
to contain that shit? The bird flies off. How are you going to catch it?
That is, bro, you don't understand. When people have birds, parrots, or just like a very like colorful bird, and that thing gets loose,
Yeah.
they just fly anywhere, and they're just all over the place. If you're not seeing a pigeon or a
Yeah.
crow, you're most definitely seeing someone's pet bird that just flew away.
I actually remember being in a diner once and a bird like flew in when someone opened the door and everyone's had such like a hard time trying to catch it that eventually they were just like they just brought out like a plate of fries and tried to like attract the bird,
Why did,
and then just threw a French fry outside, and that's how they finally got the bird out.
I'm like, why try to catch it? Just fucking shoo it out the
and
door.
and the entire time, well, because it's a bird in your restaurant.
Right. So you're trying to shoo it, not catch it.
Yeah, yeah, but the thing is, it was like a little bird. I don't remember it being like a pigeon or anything like that. Like nothing that big. It was like a tiny bird, like probably a baby bird. And the thing is like it was just flying all over the place. It was just making its home in like every corner of the restaurant. And of course, they got to get that thing out of there eventually. They can't just let it do what it wants. They can't just let it be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, they had to get a plate of fries to track the thing, and then they just threw a
Yes,
French fry
chef.
outside, and
I would
that
like
that
to
did the
order
trick.
a plate of fries to go, please.
And then you just see me in the background just enjoying my sandwich as the waitress is running after this one little tiny bird.
Ah, yes, the one calm person in the room while everyone's freaking out, chewing on his sandwich while the waitress just flew over the counter.
Mm. Side note: it was a pretty good sandwich. It was a pulled pork barbecue sandwich.
Nothing the bird would want.
Yeah, no, and I'm not gonna feed. I'm not gonna. Excuse me. I like the chicken sandwich, John. No.
Like,
Is it? Is it? Would it be cannibalism if I gave a chicken to a bird? Because it's a
uh,
different species of
it
bird.
would
So
be, yeah. It's a different species of bird, so it would be like a different kind of, what is it? If it's your family, it's a type of, because you have
I don't even
patricide,
think.
matricide.
I don't even think it would eat it. It would eat it regardless, because birds don't eat
Yeah, they
meat.
don't
But
eat
like,
meat.
I
Yeah.
mean, at least that one doesn't. There are some birds that eat meat, but we're never gonna see those here where we are.
Nope. And
We're not in the freaking middle of the Sahara
well,
Desert
no
with
way.
vultures
Well,
flying over us.
actually, funnily enough, we do have scavenger birds here.
We do?
Yep, we do.
What are
We
they?
they're just flying around. I don't know why they're
Yeah,
here,
but
but
like,
they're
what
just.
are they?
Oh, I believe they're vultures.
We have vultures though.
Yeah, yeah, man, we have vultures. Those things are
I
huge. They're
am,
not. They're not
I have
condor
never
huge.
seen a vulture in my life, like in person.
Well, uh, what's a good
It's just
spot?
waiting for. They're there. They're just waiting for their time to strike.
Like, I've been to Texas and I've heard stories of a birds actually swooping down and picking up little dogs. But where we live, they're actual vultures. So, in all honesty, if you think about it, your dogs are not safe. They were never safe.
Yeah, yeah. Vultures are huge.
So you know what? It's probably a good idea these people have their pets on them, because God help them if a vulture just swooped down and took the dog alive.
Welcome to Texas, y'all. If you'll look up, you'll see your own complimentary vulture that is circling above you as you speak.
Here's
Pay no
your.
mind to that. As long as you die within Texas, you will be completely fine. But just in case, it's there. Y'all are organ donors, right? That's how they collect. That's how they collect organs for donation in Texas.
Send out the scavengers to do it. The
Yeah.
vultures.
Just send out the vultures. Bring a new meaning to bring your pet to work.
The pet is the work.
Scalpel. Scrap. It just hands him a bird and it uses the beak to do an operation.
They're probably the best one. If you want to get to that juicy, meaty, organy goodness, I guess a vulture would probably be one of the best ones, because they would know how to get around it. They're like, I need the best meat here. Bone, bone. Ah, yes, delicious. You still there? Huh?
Hello?
Oh, okay. It sounded like you were just gone. Just making sure.
No. I'm here. I was talking. I thought you were just going off on your story. It didn't. I guess it didn't pick up. Oh well. Time to edit that whole excursion out in chat so we can say whatever we want now.
Okay.
It's gonna get edited out anyways, right?
Well, it heard me.
I mean,
It didn't hear you because I was talking about the vulture digging through a person's body,
yeah.
picking up the good stuff, and
And
then
I said that whole thing about like
yeah, you did say that, and I'm gonna point out that it's probably time to go. So, thank you so much, guys, for joining in today. We love pets, yes, we do. I love pets. How
we
about
love
you?
pets. How about you?
Yeah, right.
I knew that's where you were going.
But thank you so much for joining us for this pet talk episode today. Oh, that sounded like TED Talk, but whatever. It's been your host Tony.
Pet talk.
Pet Talk.
And John,
All right, and we'll see you next
the
time.
man who can't get the timing right in all these freaking entrances and exits,
Nope.
and probably never will.
Probably never, but we'll like them for that, don't we? Bye-bye.
Bye.